Okay, so hey everybody, this is Kayla talking, and it is January 14th. How's that possible? 8:30, 9:30 Eastern. And we just want to kick off our lead call tonight, like always, with some good news. So I see we have Tina on, and then we have a phone number that I don't know. So it's up to you guys, our live gals. I know a couple messaged me today, and they're going to check out the recording. So Tina, you first. What's your good news this week?
I reached out to a girl about a workshop. She's actually expecting, so I threw at her about like a baby arrival party where everyone that attends can possibly throw one of their meals from their 10 meals that they make. They can throw one of theirs towards her for when
That's
the baby
awesome.
comes.
Was she open to that, Tina?
She was, and she messaged me a little while ago and said that she's going to check with some of her family members to see which ones would be available and able to do it.
That's awesome. Good for you, girl. Awesome job. God bless you, whoever sneezed.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yay, Tina. Awesome. Okay. Tina, can I ask you, because it's a small group, I only see a couple so far on besides Carissa, Sarah, and I. Can I ask you, how is your recruiting going? Are you feeling like you're starting to fill your funnel with interested people? Do you want to share a little bit about that? If you don't want to, you can just say no thanks.
No, that's fine. I'll share. I feel like it's going slow. I'm constantly reaching. I just am having a lot of crickets. So
Okay.
I'm at crickets. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
And when you say reaching, are you reaching to cold, just so I know where you're at so we can help you in this program, are you reaching to a lot of people that are customers? Are you reaching to like kind of cold call, let's say, where like you're just reaching out to people who you know? Or are you talking to a lot of your hostesses and stuff? Like I mean, I'm sure you're doing it all, but like when you say crickets, who's the crickets?
So my hostesses have been coming back as the ones for this month and currently the one for next month. They're just saying, that they're thinking it's not for them right now. Two of them, they said that they would go through and, see how their party goes and see kind of how it's run and how we do things. A lot of the cold reaches are lots of crickets. Some of my customers that I have on my list for my reaches, they are just saying, no, it's not for me, not at this time. And some of them have said, I'll just stay a customer, but I'll keep it in the back of my mind.
Sure.
But I have a lot of people in my funnel that are cold reaches.
Okay.
So I've been leading up with, hey, Susie, just checking in with you, wondering if you saw my message. I don't want to be a pain in the butt. I just want to reach out to you with this awesome opportunity. If it's something that interests you, please let me know. If not, that's totally cool. I don't want to keep nagging on you. Just want to follow up with you to see what your interests are and how I can help service you.
Love it. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to think on it. It's not that I don't have more to say. I want to give everyone a chance to do good news, and I'll keep thinking about that, Tina. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thanks for being vulnerable. Who else has some good news to share? I'm talking in my crazy mom whisper voice, kind of, because Macaulay's in bed already. So my office is next to his bedroom.
This is Jessica. I have some good news.
All right, let's hear it, Jessica.
I have a customer who shared her Instant Pot meal on her Facebook page, and it happens to be the bruschetta chicken, and that sparked some interest with some of the ladies. So I have a lady who has ordered from me and has had mentioned I want to host, and I am working on booking a date with her to host an Instant Pot party.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a huge win. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Good job. Awesome work.
So
cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? I'm asking each of you if you haven't picked up on this yet, because it's a smaller group that's on live, and the people that watch the playback, to you guys specifically, thank you for watching the playback, but I think these guys being on live and sharing is going to help you too. How are you feeling about sharing the business opportunity?
I I've had a lot of no answers back, but I've already done my customers. So what I've been doing, I've been going to my Facebook group and reaching out to people who are part of my group and reaching out about the opportunity, and then the customer, or becoming a customer, because not everybody in my group is a customer, but they're there to support me, which is great. So then I've been trying to go out to my Facebook group and reaching out to them.
Love it. Okay, awesome. That's perfect. Who else has good news? Who else is on?
Maria, do you want to share?
Yeah, hold on.
Your farmer's
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Maria.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I was muted or not. I had my first not family or friend party that was good. And, I just finished the orders with the person and did the hostess order. And I learned a lot from the party that I went over with Sara and got some good coaching tips from the party. And I have a maybe that's going to host from the party. Now she said she was going to host, and now is not picking up the phone. But I have 2 more parties on my calendar with other people, and I have a series of 4 parties I set up at my own home that I invited the 102 people to. And
that's right. Okay.
Responses are starting to trickle in. And tomorrow, since the first event is Thursday, and I only have 1 person coming on the Thursday, tomorrow I'm going to send reminders to, the 80 or so people that haven't responded. The people seem to be responding and clustering to 2 dates, which, also tells me, like, in the future what kind of days may be good or better. I threw out like a Wednesday, Thursday, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday date. 3 in January, 1 in February, with the hope that if there was interest, then maybe later in February I could do a freezer meal when people know what that is.
Yeah.
And then I signed up, I guess still waiting to hear about permits and stuff, but I'm planning to be a vendor at the one town over, the local farmers market, which a past Wild Tree person did, and I'm told was successful doing that.
Wow, you made a lot of progress this week, it sounds like. How do you feel about it?
I'm tired. I'm tired of these 102 people really going through, and just some are text, some are emails, some are the messenger, and but I feel good that I did it. I was just I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna ask all these people, and and I mentioned LEAD, in my own, was nominated for this LEAD program, helped me pass my class, and and a neighbor that was she said she's going to host in February. Her father-in-law died yesterday. So now it's touchy of when and how to approach her. I have to give that a little space, and, so that's that.
Awesome. You had so much to share. You should be so proud. And yes, it can be, Sarah's going to actually lead the training tonight. And I know she's your personal coach and mentor that you work with. But one of the things I think that we want you guys to take away from this call is that it is completely normal to feel overwhelmed when you're digging more into your business, maybe frustrated with the lack of replies sometimes and the sheer volume of people that you have to ask to get a yes. That's very normal. But also I want you to feel proud in such excitement around every yes or possible booking or dated booking, conversation you have about the business, even if they don't join, sale that you make. I mean, if you sell a freezing meal kit, you guys should comment in the message chain that we have and share that, because when you're new or going for a leader and completing this program, it's a lot more volume or work, if you will, than a year from today when you've established more of a customer base. And Maria, you're not doing your first non-friend party. You've got a steady flow of non-friend parties that's very comfortable for you, and you're set with your family schedule. Business will just be easier. But most entrepreneurs don't get coached that, don't know that. They're not mentored by somebody that says like, hey, this is the reality. So that's actually, did I miss anybody else in good news? I want to make sure I didn't. Did I?
I would just want to add one thing to what Kayla said, is that it's not even just the results. I want you all to really pat yourselves on the back for the activity.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing. Because sometimes, well, I'll get into that with the training, but are you ready for me to dive right in, Kayla?
Yeah. So I was going to say, I have the pleasure tonight of really introducing Sara Lerner, and I think all of you by now know her a little bit, so she'll dig right in. But she is a pro. She's been here a long time. She's helped many team leaders get to team leader, but not just that. She's helped so many representatives get through this stage. You're in a stage of your business that can feel super hard, and it can be super exciting. But it can also be like, let's just say it as it is. Tina's trying to recruit, and she's feeling like, man, this is moving slow. So Sarah's going to take us through that. Carissa and I'll interject if we have some thoughts, but Sarah's a pro at this. So take it away, Sara.
Okay. Thank you, Kayla. All right. So Kayla and Carissa and I started chatting after some of the conversation that some of you guys started on our chat group at the end of last week, and thought, gosh, what they are feeling is just so normal, and they don't even know it. And they, at this stage of your business, it's very easy to feel alone, to feel like you're the only one, to feel like you see and you're watching other people be successful here, and you're wondering why it isn't working for you. So I'm going to kind of share a lot of cliches with you tonight, but I'm sharing them because they're true, not because they are a cliche. They just sound cliche, but they are true. For those of you who don't know me, I've been with Wild Tree for 6.5 years, and I've been in direct sales for 9.5 years. So I have been where you are. I have helped so many people through this. I have seen so many people get stuck and quit, and I really hope that nobody on this call or watching the playback is one of those people, because it's really just a matter of time. So the first cliche that I'm going to throw out there is, this business is a numbers game. And what you might not be aware of is, as you're brand new and getting started in this business, the statistics flat out are 1 in 10 people that you ask are going to host you. So let that sink in a minute. 1 in 10 people that you ask. Now, it's not going to be like that forever. As you get stronger in your business, as you're in front of more people who know what Wild Tree is or who are excited about your business, and as you just build your confidence, those numbers go to like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people that you ask will join. And what that means is that right now, if you're at a party with 10 people, you should be able to book 1 party if you are asking everybody. But a few months or a year or 6 years from now, if you're in a place where Carissa and Kayla and I are, it might be that in that party of 10 people, 3 or 4 people are booking. So keep practicing those words, and don't think those numbers are daunting. Be comforted by them in knowing that, hey, what's happening to you is just exactly what it is supposed to happen. Good? Makes sense? I can't remember what the hashtag was that we used last week, hammer down or hard hitting. I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was.
Hammer down.
What?
Hammer down.
Hammer down. All right. So that's how I'm talking at you guys tonight. There is no like sugarcoating it. I'm giving it to you straight. Okay. Now, speaking of when I say 1 in 10 and then up to 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people that you ask, this is so critical. I want you all to think about how you are asking people to host for you. What words are you using? And this might be a great topic for your one-on-one coaching call this week with your upline team leader or Kayla, Carissa, or myself, is role playing this exact situation. And I know role playing can be scary. I hate doing it myself, but I do it. And I really think it's how I have gotten the practice and the comfort with the words under my belt. So what do I mean when I say the words are so important? There is a huge difference between posting on Facebook or even saying at a party. So I have my calendar here and I'm booking parties and I would love to book a party with everybody. Or saying, hey, Kayla, looks like you had so much fun tonight. Would you be open to sharing Wild Tree with your friends and family at a party like this? Huge difference in asking each individual person specifically. You look like you had a lot of fun tonight. You seem to be the life of the party. Gosh, you were interested in so many menus. Would you like to do a freezer meal workshop with your friends at your house next month? Or how do you feel about opening your home to doing something like this? I do have every single person fill out a survey, but I totally ignore the numbers that they say. And I can't even tell you how many parties I have booked on the spot, dated, with people who circle a 0 for interest when I specifically ask them in that way. People often think, oh gosh, I wouldn't be good at this. I wouldn't be good at hosting a party. I don't know enough people. My house is too small. I'm just afraid she doesn't think I would be good at this. I was so focused on making my meals that I wasn't very social. She probably doesn't like me. Whatever. These are the thoughts people are telling themselves. And when you say, I love how focused you were on making your meals. You seem so into this. Are you going to be ready for another batch next month? You want to get together with some friends and do it. They're going to be flattered that you asked them to host, and that will help you book. Just announcing, none of those people will come up to you and say, hey, I want to host. And you will miss out on a whole bunch of parties. That's one of the ways we go from 1 in 10 to 1 in 4. Leslie Monti, our founder, I don't know if all of you guys might be so new that you don't even know Leslie or know her story, but I'll tell you a piece of it. She will flat out tell you that she was the person who either never even went to direct sales parties or hid in the back corner with her eyes down on her catalog, not making eye contact so that people would not ask her to host a party. So, and here she is, you know, the founder of a multi-million-dollar direct sales company. So you never know. That goes along also with not prejudging. This is another one of those cliches, but never prejudge. There are so many times where you just see somebody sitting in a corner and they're really quiet and they're not engaging and you think, oh God, she's not interested. How do I get her interested? And it's really that the gears are turning in her head and she already has her hot list of 100 created and she's just so focused on, I want to join that team, you know? So always ask everyone. And you guys, I'm talking about this tonight in terms of booking parties, but everything I'm saying 100% fully applies to recruiting as well. Every single party you have, think of it like a paid recruiting appointment. The best place to meet recruits, like Tina was saying, it's very hard to cold call people and ask them to join your team. When you meet people at a party, they are already interested in Wild Tree or they wouldn't have come. And they are probably watching you thinking, oh gosh, she's having so much fun. This job looks so easy. As long as you make it look fun and easy, maybe I could do that too. But same thing, she might not be willing to ask you or even realize it's an option. She might not be listening when you announce, hey, I'm looking for people who want to join my team. But if you would say to her, I mean, Kayla, do you want to hop in and tell everybody what Janelle said to you?
Yeah. Janelle was a rep that came to my party, and honestly, she was super lacking confidence that night because all of us were CrossFitters, and she had never done CrossFit or lifted heavy Olympic weights or knew anything about the way that our CrossFit coaches were coaching us to eat. But she brought another Wild Tree rep with her, actually, that is a CrossFitter, and they kind of teamed the party, which I don't recommend. That's a whole nother story. But I want you to hear that Janelle came not super confident, but she was a businesswoman at heart. She loved these products, so she had fun. She made the party look super simple, even though she was nervous about this whole CrossFit thing. And honestly, she did not show it. I only know the story now because I got to know Janelle. But that night she came up to me and she said, gosh, you'd be so good at this. take this story home. And I remember her saying, I know you're so busy, but you can read it when you go poop, if nothing else. And that was just her personality, really fun, lighthearted. And it's true. We all sit down on a toilet at some point in the day. And she thought, well, I can get people to read this. Because she was herself and funny and down to earth, I did read it. And then I talked to my husband about it, and he's like, I think you should give it a shot. To be honest, I was probably going to join anyway for the discount. But I think because she made me feel good, I did a party, which led to 3 new parties, which led to, I don't know, but it just took off. And I was never intentional. I didn't come here to sell taco seasoning. Like, I did not come here to be a team leader. But I think the thing is, once I was feeling like I could do this, someone built belief in me. I didn't just come here with the mindset, I'm going to sign for the discount, although I was going to use the products. I was like, oh, she thinks I could do this, even as busy as I am. Okay, why not? I just wanted to add to, Sarah, I unmuted before, but then I didn't want to interrupt you. There was no good place. Sarah's 100% right. 90% of my business since 2016. So that would have been my 3rd year here. Just had finished 2 years here, has come from my events themselves. So there's still 10% where I do reach out to people and I, cold talk to people, or people like my Facebook group, whoever was saying that. And I do send them a message and ask them if they've ever tried Wild Tree, if I can send them a sample, blah, 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 blah. But that's always harder work than at my parties. Like this last weekend, I did a party Saturday, a party Sunday. I booked a party off of each of those. It replaces the party I just did. And it's so much fun to book it there. It's on the calendar. The hostesses stick with the date most of the time, all the things. So when Sarah was saying there's a difference between posting on Facebook, which feels way harder, and then messaging friends to get them to book, as you do that, you will find your party that you go to. And if you can get comfortable having fun, making it easy, and asking people, your business is going to get a whole lot easier. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay. Thank you, Kayla. Awesome. Now that said, a lot of you guys are brand new. You're not at a position where you have enough parties to book those parties yet. So just some words that I know I used when I was first getting started. Sorry, you guys, just so you know, my camera is like in the bottom corner on my computer here. So I can either look at the screen and see your faces and your names, or I can look at the like little dot and it just messes me up. So if I'm not looking at you, that's why. I'm sorry. But some words that I have used to book those initial parties. Things like, hey, again, I'm going to use Kayla. Hey, Kayla, I don't know if you saw on Facebook, I just launched this new business with Wild Tree. I am super excited about it. It is changing the way my family eats for the better, and I am just loving it. My upline leader challenged me to book my first 6 parties in the next month, and I immediately thought of you because. Now, those are the crucial words. And again, works for recruiting, works for parties. I thought of you because. And from there, it can be because I know you have a kid who has allergies and Wild Tree is super sensitive to allergies. Or I know your family is gluten-free. Or you have a beautiful new kitchen. Would you love to show it off? Or because you're the life of the party at every party we go to and you know a million people. Or because you're my best friend and if I had an underwater basket weaving party, you would host for me. So you're going to do this one. I mean, it could be whatever reason makes them feel special, makes them feel like you know them for who they are, and flatters them a little bit, and they will want to help you out when they hear what why you want them specifically to do it. Now, if you're saying my upline challenged me to host my first 6, or to book my first 6, they don't need to know that you said that to 100 people, right? They're going to feel special that they were one of your first 6, even though they really might not have been. So that has always really been helpful to me. And then when I am making phone calls like that, I always have a party on the calendar at my own house, or like Maria does, 4, right? Where I can then say, if they say no, because I know going in 1 in 10 of those people is going to say yes. They might say, oh gosh, well, it's a really bad time, we're under construction. Or, you know what, I would love to, but I kind of want to try the products before I invite my friends to share, whatever. Then you can say, no problem, I'm hosting at my house these dates. Why don't you come try it out and see what it's all about? And then we can book your date then. So you kind of have what I call a safety net party for all of these people that you are calling to book parties for you. Good on everything so far? Any questions? Okay. I just want to make sure. Okay. Now I want to talk real quick. I want to keep it to like 5 or 10 more minutes is, a follow-up system. And there's a couple different systems that people in WildTree use. Kayla has mentioned before the 222 system. This is a great system for following up with people after a party, where you want to make sure that you follow up within 2 days after the party with every single person that was there, thanking them for coming, letting them know that their order has been placed, following up if they wanted to host on securing their date, or if they maybe didn't have that conversation, then asking them again if they want to host, that they've had a chance to get home and think about it. 2 weeks, hey, just wanted to make sure your products got here. Don't forget about our app on our website with all of these recipes. Make sure that they're using the product, and now that they've started using it, hey, are you ready to, to book a date? And then 2 months, you're probably out of those products that we got at so-and-so's party. Are you ready for more, or is maybe now a better time to host? Or have you loved everything and are you ready to join my team, right? So 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. The other system that I want to share, and I will tell you that 99% of the people that I know who have been the most successful at WildTree, or during the times when they were most successful, they have followed this system. It's called the 10 calls a day system, although it's not really all about 10 calls a day. The idea is pick a number of calls that you can commit to making every single day. 10 is a good number because, again, knowing 1 in 10 people that we ask, we're going to book with right away. And also knowing that of those 10, we might only catch 1 or 2 of them on the phone. So chances are we are leaving 8 messages, and this does not take more than 20 or 30 minutes of your time, probably even less. The key to this system is 2 things. Number 1, consistency. Doing this every single day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Or if you're a weekend person, do them on the weekends, and maybe, it's 3 days during the week, depending on your schedule, but at least 5 days a week, consistently. Just to hop in for another kind of cliche here, this business is like going to the gym. It's on a 30, 60, 90-day cycle. The work you are putting in now, you are going to see a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. I can always tell when I have a slow month that it was because 2 months prior, I had a lot going on in my personal life and WildTree went on the back burner. Maybe I always have a slow June because in April, I have the WildTree trip and I have spring break and I'm gone for half the month. And so I'm not able to make these calls or have my parties, right? So don't get frustrated with what's happening now and the lack of people calling you back, or crickets or whatever, Tina. They will follow up with you. So the consistency is key. And the second piece of this is key. There are 5 points of follow-up for every single person that you call, unless you catch them on the first try, right? So in trying to get in touch with people, there are 5 points of contact. I'm going to tell you exactly what to say and how to do this on each point. So number 1 is a call. And I know that we live in a world where people don't pick up the phone anywhere near as much as we used to. It is very easy. I know there's been a meme going around, a little cartoon going around. It's very easy to say, oh, I'm just going to text them, or I'm just going to Facebook message them, or whatever. Call, because number 1, people are going to take you seriously when they know you take your business seriously. Another cliche, but totally true. And when you pick up the phone to make your calls, people are like, wow, she is serious about this because she took the time to call me. She's not just copying and pasting a generic message, right? They will hear your excitement in your voice, and that will make a huge difference in getting them to respond back to you. And again, chances are you're leaving a voicemail, but they will still hear that voicemail and hear your excitement. The second point of contact happens immediately after that call. If you leave a message, you follow that message up with an email or a text. And basically that email or text says, hey, I just left you a voicemail, hoping that we can connect. If I don't hear from you by, and you leave this in the voicemail as well, if I don't hear from you by 2 days from now, I'm going to put another call out to you. And what that line does is it gives you permission to call them back in 2 days, because if they don't want you to, they will call you or email you or text you and say, don't call me back, I'm not interested. Or they'll say, oh, I'm glad, you said you were going to call me back. That way I know I can pick up when you call, or whatever. So on the third point is that 2 days later, you call, leave a voicemail, just say, hey, just trying to catch you again, like I said I would, again, showing that you take your business seriously. I'm going to put one more call out to you 2 days from now and hope I catch you then. The fourth point of contact is a third phone call 2 days later, so 4 days after the initial. And chances are this is when you're going to start to get a hold of people. If you leave another message, oh gosh, this must be just such a crazy busy time for you. I guess maybe it's not the best time for us to connect. I'm going to try you again in a month or 2 months or 3 months. And you put that in your calendar. And then you send that same message in an email or a text. Just left you one last message. Totally don't want you to think I'm stalking you. Just trying to take ownership for connecting with you. Must be a bad time. I'm going to call you back in a month. Now, the reason that there's 5 points of contact, the reason this number is so important is because 80% of sales, and this is not just sales in WildTree, this is not just sales and direct sales, this is when you are buying a new car. This is, when you are thinking about where to go on vacation, like all of these things, whenever there is a sale, a transaction that happens, 80% of those happen between the 5th and 12th point of contact. Only like 2 or 3% happen on the first point of contact. So doing all 5 of these right away so quickly gets you to that 5 really quickly. And you'll see that on that day 4, on the 4th and 5th contacts, you are going to start to get a lot more responses. But because you're doing it in such a short period of time and because you're always telling them what your next move is, you are getting their permission to call them back. They will let you know if they don't want you to. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything with that. I think that was all of my points and my training on that. I want to open it up to questions. Just the last thing that I want to share is at my very first direct sales conference, we're talking about like 8 or 9 years ago at this point, a team leader got up and she was giving her presentation and it was all about follow-up. And what she said was, when I realized that it was my job to follow up with them, it was not their job to follow up with me. It gave me permission to take the ownership of that. And I started communicating that to my customers, always keeping the ball in my court and saying, I will call you back in this time. And just saying, I always like to just have the ownership of calling back. I know you're so busy. I know it's hard to pick up the phone, because chances are these people are not ignoring you. They do not intend to ghost you or whatever. Their intention is to have that party with you, but they only think about it when they are in the shower or driving or cooking dinner for their family or laying in bed at 12 o'clock at night with like 17 tabs open in their head. And they think in the morning, I'm going to do this. And they think in the shower, today I'm going to do this. And by the time they get to work and they get buried in everything they're doing, and they thought about it so many times in their head that they thought, oh, I did it. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me, thank you so much for calling me back. Or, oh my gosh, you've been on my list of things to do. But no matter how excited they are about having the party, it's never as high on their priority list as it is on yours. So just own that. Does anybody have any questions for me or Kayla, Carissa, anything that I forgot or anything you want to add?
I was going to give it a chance first to see if they had any questions. Anyone?
I'm Sarah, it's Carissa.
Hi.
I loved when you said that, because I was just having this conversation with Tina, like right before you messaged us and you're like, oh, I think this is what we should talk about. And it was this topic, so how ironic is that? But I was telling her when I started to feel like I didn't know where to go or how to amp up my business, or I wasn't sure what to do. And this system, it kind of came into place when it first came out. It was like April. It was right after my first incentive trip. And I just, like you said, just went to town and did 5 days a week, every single week, follow the words that were given. Just like, it was like, it put me into such a routine that I thank that system because of how consistent I am now 5 years later. So I thought you did a great job. I loved re-listening to the whole process all over again.
Yeah, and you know, when you get to the level of your business like Krista or like where Kayla is, sometimes these calls are booking calls because sometimes you'll meet somebody at a party and they'll say, I totally want to host, but I can't do it for 6 months until my kitchen is done or whatever. And you'll plug those people in. And sometimes it's just customer service calls, you know, hey, you bought from me 6 months ago. Hey, you bought from me 4 months ago. Hey, we met at, you know, a vendor event. It's never a bad thing to be able to plug people in. And I mean, again, I can't tell you how many people I have booked parties with 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 3 years after I met them, just because I keep in touch with them. And they had no interest at the time, but things
Right. Exactly. You kept the system, you're consistent, and just, yeah, I love it. Thanks for sharing, Sarah.
You know what? I actually did think of one other thing. Yeah, of course, Krista. When this system can feel daunting. I'm just gonna like throw that out there, that it can feel like a weight on your shoulders every morning. So there are 2 pointers that I have. Number one, either like as soon as you get to your office in the morning, if it's at a time where it's appropriate to make phone calls, like 9 o'clock or after, do this first thing. Get it out of the way so it's not hanging over your head all day. Or if you are somebody who has another job that you are working this around, schedule the time in. Just like you schedule a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or a gym class, schedule this in. Let your husband, let your kids know, hey, I need half an hour in my office. I'm going to be on the phone, and then we're going to go do whatever to get these calls done. And the second piece of advice I have is find an accountability buddy for these calls. It doesn't necessarily need to be somebody where you're going to have the Kayla Carissa relationship, but whether it's just that I would love to see all of you posting on our group chat every day, got my 10 calls done, 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 left 8 messages, talked to 2 people, booked 1 party, whatever your results were, but the activity and acknowledging the activity and the accountability for the activity is the most important thing. If there's somebody in this group that you feel really more connected to and you don't need to do that publicly, if you want to text each other every day, that is super helpful too. Maria, did you have a question or a comment?
I did. Party follow-up. Do you call people like the 24 hour or the 2 days? Do you call or you email them?
I like to call. And leave a message. I'm not going to do a 5 points of contact over something like that. That would really be more of the recruiting and the hosting. But yeah, I would call. I think that goes a huge way in creating that relationship, letting them know how serious you are and letting them know that like, hey, I'm your Wild Tree gal. When you get to be a team leader, you get what we call on the map. And what that means is your name and contact information is on the Wild Tree map. So if somebody totally random goes to Wild Tree and says, hey, I want to place an order or I want to have a party, they will be, they'll see your name on there and be directed to you, which is a huge help. And there have been a lot of people who have told me, who've called me and said, hey, I went to a Wild Tree party. I don't remember my rep. I haven't really heard from her since. Can I buy from you? Or I want to host a party. And I don't even know, who to point them back to. So I take the business because I want them to be happy with Wild Tree, but I don't ever want to steal business like that from somebody on my own team or for anyone. So you really want to, let them know that like, hey, you're their Wild Tree gal and you take this business seriously. People are in and out of sales so much that the more that we can let people know like, hey, I'm still here is just a good thing.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm prepping my holy delicious thing as we speak.
Your meals right now, awesome.
That's why I'm not on video.
That's why we can't see you cooking. All right.
Well, I just wanted to wrap it up. Sarah, Carissa, do you have anything else, or does anybody else have a question?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, I just wanted to wrap it up because I don't want to abuse the time for those that watch the playback. But my last thought was in all of the things that I've been pouring into my heart in the morning, my personal development, I I just feel like I need to say this. 90% of people who come into our industry at first have another job or something that keeps them very busy during the day. And everything that we give you on these calls is meant to help you do this around your already busy life so that down the road, this is not a little chunk of change, but becomes a significant amount of money and then, or a great a sense of accomplishment, whatever you're here for. And then as you go, it becomes legacy money. It becomes life-changing, life-altering, either funds or again, impact that you're creating in your community or whatever your heart song is, why you're here. But so many people downplay the industry because they come to something like this and they can't get past the things that Sara just trained you on, the things we talked about last week as Sara goes through the videos. Like, people are going to ghost you. It's just like when you go to a car dealership, we're all guilty. We've all tried to run from the salesman, or when you go into a certain clothing store and they're like chasing you down, trying to get you to do one of those makeovers at the makeup counter. And you're like, yeah, girl, I buy $6 mascara at Target. Like, I ain't buying whatever you have. That's the same thing. Some people are just closed off, and you're not a negative person. You're not a mean person. It's just you don't feel like you need that mascara. So you're not hearing what they're saying then. 2 years from now, you might be the girl who walks in and you buy all your makeup at that store. But each person you reach out to is in some season, some time in their life. So it's just a numbers game. And that's what I want you to take away from this. And that if you stick with this and you just do the daily activity, whatever you use to track it, it doesn't matter. As as Sara pointed out, I don't do 10 calls a day. I do a different kind of follow-up system, but I every day work my business, and I've had very, very low lows and very high highs. And I try to remember at the end of the day, it all neutralizes out to growing steady income, which is my driver, or a growing steady team, whatever motivates you. I just really felt like we needed to say that at the end, that when we're logistical like this, and Sara's being very tactical and telling you the realistic stats and the cliche things from our industry, and Carissa's jumping on and saying like, yeah, this is really what Tina and I are talking about. It's because we know like this is what adds up to the long-term legacy business. You have to power through that. That's my best advice for this week as you go through lead, as you build your business, as you finish out double hostess credit month, all the things. So anything else, Sara and Carissa?
I just think the last thing I want to leave you with is don't ever lay all the groundwork for somebody else to come in and scoop up your host or your team member or your sale. You know, the worst thing you can do is reach out to somebody 3 or 4 times, let them get all excited about Wild Tree, and then not follow up with them. And then the next thing you know, they're hosting for somebody else in the next town over. That just sucks. So don't ever let that happen. Be the one that takes the ownership.
Yes. Agreed. Great last tip.
All right. Have a great night, everybody, or day or morning if you're listening to the recording. And I look forward to seeing on our chat all of the 10 calls a day done.
Yes. See you guys soon.
All right. Good night.